So let me show you how to remove and replace a broken shear pin. A shear pin is a bolt that goes through the junction of where the PTO shaft meets the box, the gearbox on your mower, other pieces of equipment also. But specifically in this case is a brush hog type, not a brush hog brand, but a brush cutter or a rotary cutter. And the shear pin breaks when you come across something that abruptly stops or impedes the rotation of the cutter. The blades hits something hard. It can be dirt, it be a mound of dirt, a fire ant mound sometimes, depends on how hard the shear pin is, and we'll touch on that in just a minute. Or it can be something. I thought yesterday I hit a mound of dirt because I'm getting a lot of dirt work done, or I've had a lot of dirt work done because of a tornado that came through. A lot of damage, a lot of trees uprooted and everything, and the dozer and the excavator left a lot of ruts and stuff like that. And I thought it was just a big mound of dirt, but after further investigation, there was a T-post laying there also that my fence building crew had pulled up. So, but anyway, the shear pin broke. It was pretty obvious. I mean, I hit it and I knew there was a big bang, and then the telltale sign is you're driving along and you're not cutting anything because your PTO shaft is running, but your blades are not turning because the shear pin has broken off and it's not turning the gearbox, which is not turning the rotator. So first of all, you line it up. And I don't know whether you can be able to see that. Probably not. But line it up to where you see the broken off part of the bolt. And this is the type of bolt we're looking at. It's a 1/2 inch by probably 3.5 or 4 inch. And the bolt is broken off. So I'm going to tap down in there. I'm going to use a screwdriver to tap the old bolt out, the old shear pin out. So the shear pin is just a bolt. But I'm going to tap it out from the bottom and reinsert the new one, tighten it down, should be back in business. Sometimes lining it up is the hard part. Hard to see sometimes exactly where it is. It's not punching out, it's not lined up perfectly. And just mess with it till it is. You can use a punch for it. I'm using an old screwdriver. Now I can see the bolt in there turning a little bit when I'm playing with it. There you go. Pops out. That's the part that was broken off because that's the size of the shaft. So that right there. So this bolt drops in. If you don't move it, the bolt should drop straight in. Very good. I'll turn. So I decided to bring you on the other side so you can see it a little better. There it is, sticking out, little bolt sticking out. Rotate it to where you can get a lock washer on it, where you can get the nut on it. And I'm fortunate that the nut, the lock washer, everything just stayed right here on the deck of the mower. I didn't have to go looking for it, buy a new one, whatever. Although I do have a new nut for it that came with the bolt. Impact wrench, love my cordless impact wrenches, and so put that on there. This one is a 1/2 inch bolt. The wrench is a 3/4. You can see right now that nut's got some issues. It has been beat on. I'm gonna put a brand new nut on it that came with the shear pin. Get it tight. Simple as that. Now, I talked a little bit about hardness, about bolt hardness. A lot of people run a number 2 shear pin, number 2 bolt. And the number has to do with the hardness of the bolt, how quickly it will shear, how quickly it will break off. You don't want to go too hard. I mean, a very, very hard one. If the reason the shear pin's there is to keep you from damaging the gearbox. So if you go with a real stiff bolt, hard bolt, then you take the risk of it not shearing off when you hit something really hard and it breaking the gears in the gearbox. And you do not want that. That's expensive. But if you use a number 2, I have used number 2s, and sometimes those things are just so soft they'll shear as you turn the PTO on. Sometimes the spinning, as soon as you turn the PTO on, it'll break it off, and I don't need that. So I don't know what hardness that one is. It doesn't really have a marking on it, but I'm going to use this one to get my mower done for right now, and then I'm going to go to Amazon and get some, maybe number 5 bolt, something like that. I want it to be able to shear if I hit something really solid, really hard, that's going to stop just going to stop the rotation. You want something that is going to shear off, that PTO will shear off, that the pin will shear off, and the PTO will keep going while the gearbox stops. You don't want to hurt your gearbox. That's what it's all about, protecting that gearbox. They are expensive. So I'm probably going to get some number 5s off Amazon. I'll put a link below to different shear pins on Amazon, and it's just one way of protecting your equipment, is to put the right shear pin in it. Again, a lot of people use a number 2. I have just found a number 2 just shears off way too often, and I just ain't got time for that. So I go a little bit above that, a little bit harder than that, and you might want to just experiment and see what is best for your rig, because everybody's rig is a little bit different, and your property is different. High grass, roots, tree limbs, depends on what you're going over, or trees. Some people mow down saplings with trees. I certainly have in the past. So it just depends on the severity of what you're trying to put it through. Probably will determine on what size shear pin you're going to want to use. So anyway, I just thought I'd show you how to put that in. Just simple. It's a little frustrating when it happens, when you got a job to do and you don't want to have to come and find this. That's the reason I'm using that one's the only one I had. I thought I had a bunch, but that's the only one I could find. So I'll buy some more on Amazon and or at the hardware store and get it done. And we're back in business. We're going to crank it up, start mowing. All right. Appreciate you watching. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. I appreciate it. We're gone.